Good Tuesday morning. Hey, it's 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Broadcasting from Austin, Texas. My name is Keith. Welcome. How are we doing on this Tuesday day? I actually got I'm going to say a good night's sleep. I'm going to say that. I got a bunch of code written yesterday. Feeling pretty good about that and where that project's at. Got to get up and do my chores this morning. Been a pretty productive day so far. I've got a bunch to do. I've got to clean out a storage facility and take a trip to the landfill, unload a bunch of stuff today. It's going to be a busy day. B-I-Z-Y, busy. How are we doing? All right. Well, again, my name is Keith, and I have been a professional coder for over 30 years. Currently, the last 5 years, I've been managing a coding school, helping people learn to code and upskill. And one of the things I've been doing in the last several years is tracking where the job postings are, how many new jobs are being posted. And so on this stream, which I have created, and I've been doing for January, February, March, April, almost 4 months now. The month is almost done. I've been tracking those job reports. Let's see what's there, and then we'll talk about some news that's going on in the tech space. So we got 3 different graphs here, one for the last 7 days, one for the last 6 months, and one for the last year. The last 7 days, yeah, not great. In the last 6 months, yeah, not great. In the last year, it's been pretty flat, but we're on the low side. If you look at where we were a year ago today, we're down probably 40% from that. If I just pull a number out of the air. But there are being new jobs posted. If we look at the more granular version of that, which we've been doing since the beginning of the year, so coming up on 4 months worth of data here, we'll see that overall JavaScript jobs, which is a good sort of indicator of where the web is, where the developers are. It's been very flat. And then the tariffs happened, the Trump tariffs happened, everything's been kind of dipping. Not trending in the right direction is what I'll say. The red line here is remote work. This is across all of the United States. So, it's following the overall trends, mostly flat, down recently. As the uncertainty of the tariffs continue, it looks like there are less companies willing to take a chance on hiring. So those job posting numbers are slipping. Not great. When we look at entry level, mid level, and senior level roles in all of the United States, our blue line here is entry level, red line is mid level, and yellow line is senior level. I just was chatting yesterday with another friend. It's been a couple of months since I talked to him. And he's considering getting back out into the job search again. He's got a job. It doesn't look like he's going to be losing his job immediately, but it's working in and around a government contract or something. I don't think he can work for the government, but I think he does work for a company that contracts with the government, So I think he's a little concerned about where things are headed, and maybe he should try and find something that find something. Maybe you should find something that's a little more stable. But I told him don't quit your job. Get out there, shake the trees, look for a job. He's a senior level developer. He's got lots of great experience, and he's good at what he does. So that all breaks in his favor for sure. But yeah, don't let go of one thing until you got another thing. Don't let go of one thing. All right, and if you want to throw a chat in the chat, feel free to do that, and we can talk. Talk about whatever you might want to be going on. Let's hit some of these news stories. I hit LinkedIn 2, 3, 4 times a day, and one of the reasons is because it's got this little news feed on there, which oftentimes has some pertinent stories that give us a clue as to where the tech industry is going, or more broadly, where the business concerns are going to be. And there are a fair number of good stuff in there today. Amazon launched 27 satellites as part of Project Kuiper, the tech giant's mission to build global broadband network from space to rival SpaceX's Starlink system. If all goes according to plan, Amazon's high-speed internet service will feature over 3,000 satellites, be integrated into cloud computing arm, and be available for customers later this year. This marks the latest move in an ongoing space race between Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and Tesla CEO Musk. Which is fine and good, but how's he going to get the things up there? Isn't it going to be Elon Musk's spaceships is going to take him there, a rocket ship? I don't see. But he's kind of cornered the market, Elon, on getting things into space these days. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Competition is good. Competition is good. We like competition. Duolingo to swap contractors for AI. Duolingo plans to slowly stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle, per an email with co-founder Louis Van Aan that was shared on LinkedIn. The language company will become an AI first, including a major rethink of how it works with its contractors, hiring and performance reviews. Changes aim to help employees focus on creative work and real problems. They echo a recent move at Shopify, where teams were instructed to see what AI can do before asking for headcount. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see more of this, but it's the contractors that will go first, because, you can only run your business with contractors if you can break some of the work down into tasks that can be taught to unskilled workers. And that's also the kind of thing that AI would be good at. So that makes perfect sense. Oh man, one second. Time for an allergy pill. My eyes are watering. My nose is running. It is allergy bill time. Okay, so most of those, I'm guaranteeing most of those contractors are offshore too. So, in the same way that it will not be shocking to find out in 3 years from now if they're just a bunch of robots that are flipping hamburgers in McDonald's, right? Um, if it's a job that can be taught in less than a week and is highly repetitive and is a constrained space that has a constrained number of possible things that can be done, those jobs are going away. They're just going away. This is a genie that can't be put back in the bottle. The White House is considering offering automakers relief from tariffs on imported vehicles and parts, according to multiple outlets, citing anonymous sources. The Wall Street Journal, which first reported the news, proposed changes involving easing the duties on some imported parts used for car manufacturing in the United States, as well as provisions to prevent automakers who are already paying tariffs on foreign-made vehicles from being hit with additional charges. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of these kind of half steps or tentative backtracks as the stores get empty and the prices start to rise. We're going to blink. We are going to blink. Spotify just keeps on growing. I have never been a Spotify person. Never used the app. Generally speaking, I'm not a music person. There is music that I like for sure, but in my spare time, I don't put music on. I go for walks around my neighborhood, and I'll put on an audiobook or a podcast, but I won't put on music. Both my kids are Spotify users. Audio streaming giant Spotify beat expectations for the first quarter, adding subscribers despite higher prices and economic headwinds. Monthly active users grew 10% to 678 million people. 678 million people. Premium subscribers jumped 12% to 268 million. Spotify's profit for the quarter came in around 215 million. So they're $1 billion revenue company. AQR, $1 billion company. That is crazy. The company was boosted by a move into audiobooks, another area of growth. Podcasting. The company paid over $100 million to podcasters in the quarter as it continues to push to compete with YouTube. Yeah, good luck with that. Again, I'd have to see what their audiobook options are like. But I already have a way to get my podcasts. I already have a way to get my YouTube. It's not enough to me to use another app or pay for another app service. GM cans outlook amid tariff drama. General Motors tossed its profit guidance for the year on Tuesday, saying the Trump administration's auto tariffs could have a significant, quote unquote, though still undefined impact. The automaker also said its net income dipped 6.6% in the first quarter, with customers buying fewer pricey SUVs and labor costs rising. In bright news, GM's revenue crept up more than 2% as Americans rushed to buy cars before the new tariffs went into effect. It's one thing to rush to buy some dry goods at the grocery store because you think it's going to be out, or paper towels. Rush out and buy a car. That seems like it's not an impulse buy. That's a whole process. About 2 years ago, I had a couple of kids that were getting their driver's license. And so within about a 6-month period, I ended up getting 3 new cars. They were all used cars, but 3 new vehicle purchases within a 6 or 8 month period. And I'm not the person who buys a new car every 3 years. I will buy a vehicle and drive it until the wheels fall off. And I went to, so when you haven't bought a car in 10 years, it's always a new process. And you're like, it's the first time everything's uncomfortable. And it's this guy jerking me around and what's going on. And I don't want to be hassled. I just want to go look at the cars. And you go through that whole annoyance stuff. Then by the third car, I was just like, I got this down. I could buy cars for a living. So funny. So funny. Let's see. What else have we got? Starbucks speeds up its brews. Prepare to get your next Starbucks order just a little quicker. The coffee chain says it's shaved 2 minutes off the average prep time for beverages ordered inside cafes in a pilot program of new technology. The test has been so successful, in fact, that Starbucks will soon expand it to hundreds more stores, hoping to reverse 4 straight quarters of falling same-store sales. The company is set to report its latest quarterly results late on Tuesday. Doesn't go into what that technology is. Yeah. Well, that's also another one of those jobs that robots are going to take away. Not everywhere, but robots are already looking for those jobs. Temu and Shein prices start to surge. The days of shopping like a billionaire, quote unquote, on Chinese apps appear to be over. I actually read this story yesterday, but it says updated 3 hours ago. As of May 2nd, items priced under $800 will face either 120% tax per postal item fee of at least $100. Prices have jumped significantly on Shein. For example, between April 24th and 26th, Bloomberg noted a 377% price jump on a 10-piece kitchen towel set. Yeah, you got to pay the piper at some point. I've never ordered anything off of Shein. Or in the early days, I ordered some stuff off Temu, and I was pretty happy with it. I don't think there was anything that was like a clunker that felt like a scam. But it didn't develop into a habit. I still go to Amazon to buy most of my stuff from. So. Hope you like Slurpees. Elder Emos. 7-Eleven snagged the naming rights to Live Nation's When We Were Young, a pop, punk, and emo festival held annually in Las Vegas. It's the first time Live Nation has sold the rights for a U.S. festival, though the entertainment giant has previously done so overseas. Post-pandemic, advertisers are increasingly interested in experimental marketing, finding it an effective way to connect with younger consumers and build social media buzz. 7-Eleven. Yeah. When we were young. What do we got? Is made in USA now too costly? Making a truly all-American product during the Trump tariff era is either impossible, extremely difficult, are extremely costly. It spoke with executives. The Wall Street Journal spoke with executives or owners of various U.S. businesses, manufacturers of pickup truck organizers, coat hangers, factory machinery. You see they're scrambling to adjust. In the case of Rapid Plastics high-end hangers, components sourced from China will have doubled in price. Its co-owner says the federal government should make exceptions for specialized components. I have worked doing manufacturing on some small levels for a product. I created a product. This is one of them. In the United States, I conceived and designed and manufactured that product. I've got some others around here, all small scale stuff. And it really just comes down to the product. You know, how much human touch does the product have? If the product, and can you own your own manufacturing facility? Like, obviously, if you're going to pay a U.S. company to do the manufacturing for you, then yeah, it's going to be more expensive. They want a higher margin. They're paying their people more than, Chinese labor costs. So it will be more expensive. But if you purchase the manufacturing equipment, you prove that the product exists, was successful, people bought it. If you decided to bring that manufacturing in-house, depending on the complexity of the product, you could do it for not that much more, depending on what the product is. Like, if the product is using CNC, if it's using plastic injection molding, if it's using pick and place, if it's using any kind of automated robo manufacturing stuff, you can buy the same equipment that they have in China. And while you might pay for the individual, it's the handwork that is so expensive. Like, it is the people putting in tiny screws in China that is very expensive. If you got to have, if you're designing a product that has to have little screws being screwed in by little hands, then yeah, that's not going to work in the United States. But let me name it plastic injection mold product. But let's see this. This is a plastic injection cookie cutter. Plastic injected cookie cutter. And I made the mold myself. I got a relatively low cost plastic injection mold machine, and I produced thousands of those products. If that process is automated, you're just sort of managing machine, and you only need one person to make sure it's still got plastic in the hopper, and the machine is just round the clock cranking out parts faster than a human could do it manually. There's not that much of a differential in the cost if you own the machine, if you own the process. But once you start jobbing everything out and paying middlemen and paying for somebody's profit margin, then yeah, it's going to be harder to do that business. Okay. Now we have a new Canadian Prime Minister, Liberal Canadian Prime Minister. White House calls Amazon tariff price display hostile and political. White House blasts Amazon over tariff cost report. Okay, Amazon's reported plans to show the tariff price increase as a hostile act. Well, that's interesting. This one, I guess it's all fresh within the last hour. So Amazon's going to actually list, oh, it normally would be this price, but now there's a tariff, and this is how much the price is going up. Thanks, current administration. That's interesting. I mean, they're just trying to be upfront with their pricing. There's been all this stuff about Airbnb, like, everybody was upset with Airbnb because there were all these like hidden prices and stuff. That's interesting. Mark Carney. Spain and Portugal's focus on cause of huge blackout with power almost fully restored. Yeah, it was crazy. The whole country's power went down. I follow a YouTuber, not a YouTuber, a fellow on Twitter, and he's like a nomad. He just moves around and codes from different places, and he's been in Portugal, so he was down when the whole power went out, and so he was like posting to Twitter, "Yep, power still's out, power's still out," that kind of stuff. Conclave is going to happen. What else have we got? What's in technology? Phones and games. Not interested. On the internet. Okay, Hegseth had an unsecured internet line set up in his office to connect the signal. Okay. Well, we're getting down to the end of it. I think it's probably time to wrap some things up. Again, if you joined late, my name is Keith. I have been a professional developer for over 30 years. I started making CD-ROMs before the internet became a popular thing, and then I was right there at the beginning of the internet, in the right place at the right time. That led to a career in what ultimately became front-end development. I worked for large companies like Dell, National Instruments, and many small companies had startups of my own. Currently, I am working managing a coding school, helping people upskill. And I have been doing this stream since January 1st, Monday through Friday, every weekday. I broadcast currently at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time from Austin, Texas. If you know anybody who's in the job market and wants just to have somebody in their ear when they're getting out those job applications, that's kind of what the stream's for. Just kind of a hang for people who are out there who want to stay consistent about getting those job applications out. It's a tough job market, as we saw in the job numbers. The only thing that we control, though, is staying motivated, staying on top of it, being consistent every day. And that's what I created a stream for, just to be your little application buddy to hang out with. Okay, so it is 9:30. We are going to be back tomorrow in 23 hours and 30 minutes. In the meantime, and in between time, have a good Tuesday, and we will see you on the last day of the 4th month.